Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing good. My name is Cynthia. If you're watching me for the first time, you're highly welcome. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my new YouTube channels. I will link them in the description box. In today's video, we're going to be making this short dress. This is a casual dress. I'll be using 3 different types of fabric. So I have pink fabric, sky blue, and African print. So let's get started. So guys, I will first draft it on a pattern paper, then transfer it to my fabric. Now I'll be joining it at the bottom here. I don't want to waste much fabric. This is my starting point. We assume the pattern is folded into 2. To cut out the pattern, you use the biggest part of the body, which is the hip measurement. I used the hip measurement to cut it out and added about 3 inches allowance to it. Go ahead and place the measurement. So the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16 inches. Divided by 2 is 8 inches. I'll mark 8 inches. I'll be cutting the sleeve and the shoulder together. We add extra 8.5 inches to it, making it 16.5 inches. That means I extended the shoulder by 8.5 inches. I'm taking 3.5 inches for the wideness of the neck. I will take 1 inch for the back depth and 3 inches for the front depth. I'll make a line here. So we go ahead and connect the lines. This is the back neckline. I'll connect it. And this is the front neckline. So I will go to this side here and mark 1 inch for shoulder slope. Is either you mark 1 inch or 1.5 inches. I'll mark 1 inch for shoulder slope here. Then connect it to meet the neckline here. So I will go ahead and take my arm opening. I'll be marking 11 inches for the arm opening. I don't want it too tight. I want it a little bit loose. So this is my chest line. I'll go ahead and place the vertical measurement. From shoulder to waist is 17 inches plus half inch sewing allowance, that's 17.5 inches. And shoulder to hip is 24 inches plus half inch sewing allowance. I will connect the lines. This is the waistline. And this is the hip line. The length of my dress is 40 inches plus sewing allowance. I will go ahead and place the circumference measurement. I will place the quarter of the bust measurement, the waist and the hip measurement. The bust measurement is 42 inches, divided by 4 is 10.5 inches. So a quarter of the waist measurement is 9 inches. A quarter of the hip measurement is 11.5 inches. We'll connect the lines from chest to waist, from waist to hip, And for the down part, I will go to the hip line, check what I have here, and minus 1.5 inches from the hip and place it at the bottom here. So I have 11.5 inches here. I will minus 1.5 inches from 11.5 inches, which is 10 inches. I will go to the bottom and mark 10 inches here. I'll connect this. So we go back to the upper side. I'll make a line here. And then make a curve here. Remember, I did not add sewing allowance to it. I will add 1 inch for sewing allowance and 1.5 inches for ease. So that is 2.5 inches. So I'll mark 2.5 inches round. I'll mark 2.5 inches all the way to the bottom. So I'll go ahead and just still connect it. So I will make a curve here from here to here. This is 2.5 inches sewing allowance and the ease allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. I will cut out just the back neckline. I will be cutting the front neckline later on. So if you look at the picture very closely, there's a joining at the bottom here. I'll be cutting this place out and transfer it to the Africa print. I'll be cutting out this side out. I will mark 3 inches right from the hip line. So this is 3 inches. And this is 3 inches. So I will cut this side out. This will be for the African print. So I'll make sure I add 1/2 inch on this side and 1/2 inch on this side while cutting it out. I will go ahead and transfer the pattern to the fabric. I will lay the fabric on the table and lay this pattern against the fabric. I will fold my fabric into two. My fabric is folded into two. So I will lay the pattern against the fabric and then cut it out. Remember, I will be joining this to the other fabric. I will add 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch at the bottom here. So I will go ahead and cut it out. I'll finish cutting this out. I will split the mid part open. So I will do the same thing for this fabric. I will lay it on the table and then transfer the pattern to the fabric. So I finished transferring the pattern to the fabric. So this is the upper side. I will do the same thing to the down part. So I will fold the African print into two. I'm cutting out the front and the back together. This is the folded edge for the down part. So I'm not going to be splitting this open. I will lay the pattern against the fabric. I will add 1/2 inch sewing allowance here. So I will use this 1/2 inch to join it to the upper part. Go ahead and cut it out. And open it up. I will be joining this side to the upper part. So cut out the pocket. I'll be adding an open pocket to the front part. So I'm cutting out 2 pockets. The length of my pocket is 13 inches. I will fold it into two. And the wideness is 12 inches. So I have two pockets here. We are done with the cutting. I'll go ahead and put the fabric together. I will start with the upper part. Remember, we still need to cut the front neck depth. So I will take one of this blue and take one of the pink fabric. I will mash them together. Our front depth is 3 inches. I will come down by 2 inches because I've already cut out 1 inch. So we'll go ahead and cut out the facing. I'm cutting out a very long facing. I will use the neckline to trace out the facing. So I'm cutting out about 5 inches facing. Remember, I'm going to be making a placket at the front part. I will make it a bit long. I will use this to turn these rough edges here. So I'll do the same thing for the back side, but I'll be cutting out 2 inches for the back side. Now we use the neck facing to turn the neckline. I will sew it like this and bring it down to this down part. I'll do the same thing for this side and the back side. So after I've done that, I will join them together here. I will use 1/2 inch to join them together. Here, I will do the same thing for the back side. I finished joining them together, and I also use the facing to turn the neckline. This is the front panel. This is the back panel. So what we are going to do next is to attach the pocket to it and attach this ankara to the down part. I cut out 6 inches for the pocket, folded into two. That is 12 inches, but I reduce it to 5 inches, folded into two. When you open it up, you have 10 inches. The wideness is 10 inches, and the length is 11 inches. I also reduce the length to 11 inches. We go ahead and attach the pocket. So from shoulder to the waist measurement is 17 inches. So right from the waistline, I will step up by 2 inches. So this is 17 inches. And I will go up by 2 inches. That's 15 inches. I'll place it here. I ironed 1/2 inch inside on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, and the down part 1/2 inch. So this is the midpoint. I will attach it here 2 inches away from the midpoint. So I will also hem the top of the pocket. I'll use 1/4 inch to hem it here. So I'll do the same thing for this side. So I will attach the pocket. I will sew it here, here, and here. I will do the same thing for this side and hem the upper part here. So after I've done that, I will attach this to the down part. This is the ankara fabric. I will turn it like so, right side facing each other. Then use 1/2 inch to join them together. I'll do the same thing for the back side. So guys, I'm done attaching the upper part to the down part. This is the back panel. And this is the front. I've also attached the pocket. We'll be cutting out the placket. The length of the placket is 13.5 inches. This is 13.5 inches. And I want my placket to be 1.5 inches after sewing it. I will fold my fabric like so and mark 2.5 inches. I want it to be 1.5 inches after sewing it. So I'm adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. Folded into 2 is 2.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut it. I will be showing you guys the simplest method to attach a placket. So this is my placket, is folded into 2. If you like, you can add interfacing to it. My fabric is hard on its own. I don't think I'll be adding the interfacing to it. So what I'm going to do is to turn it to the right side, stitch the button here, and do the same thing for this side. Stitch this side also. I will stitch it and turn it inside out. I finished sewing the 2 sides. I sew the upper side and the down side. So I will turn it inside out. I will run a top stitch here just to keep it in place. As you can see, it's open. I finished stitching this open place. So we go ahead and attach it to the dress. I left about 6 inches open here. This is the front part. This is the right side of the dress. And this is my placket. I'll finish joining these sides together. So we fold 1/2 inch inside. I'll fold 1/2 inch inside and then attach it on this side. So I fold 1/2 inch inside, attach it here. Let me pin it down. So you have to make sure the midpoint align with the midpoint here. On the down part here, if you like, you can make any shape you want. I just need it flat. Here you can take it inside here, take it inside on the other side, but I just want this down part flat. So you see this side is the open side. I will stitch the placket to the dress. I will stitch it here, bring it to the button and go up on this side. I will stop when I get to this 6 inches and then sew it this way. So after I've done that, I will join the shoulders together, the front and the back. I will lay them against each other, right side facing each other. So I will use 1/2 inch to join the shoulders. I'm not sewing the side yet because I need to add African print to the arm opening here as the sleeve. I finished attaching the placket to the dress and I've also joined the shoulders together. I stitch it here, 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 then bring it like so. You can make any design you want to make. So this is open. I will add a pressing button here to keep it in place. We'll be adding African print to the arm opening here as the tip of the sleeve. I have 5 inches here. So I cut out 5 inches. I will measure this place round and use it to cut out the fabric. So I have about 10.5 inches here. 10.5 inches and the other side is 10.5 inches. That's 21 inches. So I have 22 inches here in case. I will fold it into 2 and use 1/2 inch to join it to the sleeve. I'll open the sleeve like so. So I'll pin them together, right side facing each other. So I will join them here, then turn this to the wrong side. So after turning the dress to the wrong side, I will join the side together. I will use 1 inch to join this side and use 1 inch to join this side. Remember, 1 inch is our sewing allowance. I finished attaching the print to the arm opening. I use 1 inch to hem the button of the dress. Let me turn it to the back side. This is the back. We have come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much guys for watching. I will see you in my next one. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Love you guys. Bye.